Hey, we're talking about uh, hey, we're talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 8, All In. We are going to do a review and then we're going to do a spoiler breakdown of the episode starting now. Welcome to the Notaro Show. I'm Nathan.
And I'm
So,
Cassandra.
the spoiler free logline for this episode released by Paramount was following a hunch, Captain Burnham tracks down Book to an old haunt from their courier days and gets drawn into a high stakes competition for a powerful weapon. So, Conjure, what did you think of this episode?
I enjoyed this episode. This was, they've been
December
gone since
7th.
what,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, late December. Yeah. So I thought this was a great way to get back into the series. It's sort of you're away from Starfleet again on an away mission, and you see Burnham and Olo, um, just the two of them sort of off on this mission, and it was sort of nice to see. I think we've talked about this before, right? Like having these little side stories while they're on the hunt for the origin of the DMA, and now they know where the location of unknown species 10C. And I enjoyed it. It felt a little bit lighter to me in the midst of all of this, the drama and the heaviness that is trying to figure out how to, whether or not to make first contact with this species or destroy the DMA, like that struggle. So to me, there was this sort of moment of levity in the midst of some really serious decisions, but you also see um, sort of a continuation of the struggle between Michael and Book, Burnham and Book, and their relationship, and the strain that their different approaches uh, that
Mm-hmm.
is putting on their relationship. But overall, I
Yeah,
love
I
this
liked the
episode.
episode as well. I I think that I guess it's a small spoiler that Owo features in this episode, but is also in the in the art for the thumbnail for this live stream. So
Yeah,
the I appreciated the interplay between Owo and Burnham, and I'm glad that they highlighted Owo in this episode. That's one of the things that I have been asking for more highlights of Owo specifically, but all the bridge crew. So I appreciated that they let her step up a little bit, and they also pulled a thread from the I think the last episode of her outburst that it was referenced in this episode a little bit. Uh, I mean, the stakes were lower, I guess. Well, it wasn't like giant space battles sort of stuff. It was an away mission. But I also appreciate.
yeah.
I think I mentioned this earlier in the season. And generally speaking, I enjoy the episodes that are don't have as so many plots. It's not that I can't follow too many plots, but it's usually the writers can't write an episode that has so many plots and make and write an episode that actually makes sense or is satisfying because everything gets short shrift. This has an A and B plot that collapses in to just like an A plot, and there's like a small C plot with Culber and Stamets. But it's mostly just this A plot. They're Book and Burnham start in two different places, and they sort of collide in one place, as the spoiler free description mentions one of their old haunts. So it's very focused. So I appreciated that.
Mhm.
And even though there wasn't, I don't know, space battles or things like that, it definitely is. The stakes are not small, as we find out at the end of the episode, which I can't really get into, but the we left off the cliffhanger at the end of the last the break with a Book absconding with the prototype spore drive to try to destroy the
Mm-hmm.
DMA. And it's a problem not just because of the uh, the vote that was taken by the Federation and all of the member worlds. It's a problem because of, like I said, something that we find out later on in this episode. So I appreciated this episode. It's not, I don't think since it's been so long, I can't say whether or not it's like my favorite episode of the season. It's probably not, but but it is a very good episode of the season. All right, so I think we should go on to spoiler talk. Do you want to jump into that, or you have anything else to say? Okay, so go see
Yeah.
go see the episode. It's a good
Wow.
episode. And before we get into spoiler talk, I should say, if you're enjoying the conversation, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel, and we would really appreciate it. So spoilers ahead. So, what do you want to talk about specifically in this episode?
Can we talk about Owo's performance in this first?
Yeah,
Like,
Owo was
I think
awesome
that
in this
was,
episode.
yeah, she was
Think,
awesome. She really shone, and there's that moment in the sort of early part of the episode where she asks Burnham why did she choose her.
yeah,
She's
get
like,
survey.
you could do this mission
to get survey
on your
information.
own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and Burnham tells her, because we saw, I guess, that last, or the was it a couple episodes ago, where
Saru
she
on the bridge.
defied
Yeah.
Saru's orders right on the bridge, and Burnham's like, she knows what it feels like to want to do something and contribute, and she's giving Owo that opportunity to do something and really contribute to this effort and fight. But just started to see them interact, I thought was great. And when they get to the casino, right, and so her whole sort of performance and helping them to raise the extra funds they need to buy this, oh gosh, I'm gonna name of whatever element they figure out they need. So we should talk about it. So they realize that they need a particular, or that Book and Tarka need a particular element to make the weapon that he wants to use to destroy the DMA, right? And it's only something you can get on the black market. Only a few places will have it, and Burnham suspects that Book is going to go to this place where the two of them,
right.
frequented when they were couriers, right? But the Federation has no jurisdiction there. It's kind of, I guess, way off the beaten path, and that's the most likely place he's going to go to find this element. And of course, she's right? Book and Tarka are there, and that's sort of where they butt heads again, literally, because they both, Burnham wants it so that Tarka can't have it to build a device, right? This weapon that's going to cause major destruction, as they sort of hashed out in the last episode. And Book wants it so that they can destroy the DMA. And so, the other thing I liked about this episode, to go off on a tangent, was you see a few species pop up that I don't think we'd seen before.
In Discovery, yes.
In Discovery, like old, in Discovery, you haven't seen much of the Ferengi, and there's a Ferengi in the background.
Yeah, we see Changeling makes a prominent appearance. He actually is she, or he, probably she, because I think that it was an actress at the end when you actually saw the Changeling. It was a she. She is a big part of the plot because Book doesn't have enough credits because apparently he's in debt to this guy because of what we saw in the first episode of season 3 when he let go of the transworm. He owed this guy a bunch of money, so the credits they were going to use to buy this element wasn't enough for him to procure it. So he says that he's going to use his I guess his empathic ability as well, I guess, as Tarka's technical ability to find the person who's
Mhm.
been, cheating in the casino.
Cheating in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
casino, essentially.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that and turns out to be a changeling because he thought it was a. I think the guy, I forget what his name is off the top of my head. Let me see if I have it in my notes. Has has thinks that it's a bunch of people, and they start off with that assumption as well, that there's like a there's a ring of people, but we find out that it's not a ring of people. It's just one changeling, just changing shape
Yeah.
and swindling people. So, or swindling the establishment. So that was cool. They changed the animation, and I guess, I mean, they have, that's like almost 20 years now. They changed the
Hmm.
changeling animation, and kind of the sound as well. But I thought it was going to be like, because there have been other kinds of changelings besides Odo in Star Trek. So I thought it was going to be
Hmm.
another kind of changeling, but they confirmed that it's part of Odo's race when it was trapped. It looked like one of
Yeah.
the changelings
Yeah.
from his race. So that was interesting. So yeah, I agree with you. The OO additions in this episode were pretty cool. You got to see that actress. I'm gonna pronounce Oyen
Oh
Ola
yeah.
Deja. Uh, she got to do a lot more than she's done in any single episode. I think maybe they decided this season to have as many people as possible have kind of their little moments with the captain, because we got Reese on the planet when,
Hmm.
the prison planet. He didn't have as much to do in that episode as Owo got in this episode. But we saw a little bit of that, and we also saw an episode with Tilly and the captain, when she went off after the nuns, whose names are escaping me off my head, but we got a. Yeah,
It's been so long.
Quat Malat nuns.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we'll see
Mhm.
something with Bryce. I mean, or maybe just his contribution on the bridge. Are we going to get with Bryce this season? I don't know, but they definitely seem to be trying to flesh out the bridge crew a little bit more. I think when Oo questions why she's on the mission, we know why. We know at that point that Burnham is going on this trip as like a double. There are two birds with one stone, right? And we also know that she can't take any weapons, so it's obvious at that point she's bringing Oo because of her tactical skills, and we've seen her Oo's tactical skills in the
Yeah.
past. Not so much in this universe, but we got to see her beat up people in the mirror universe. So I think that if people are following
Yeah.
the through line, we know that she's a good fighter in any universe apparently. So yeah, so
Yeah.
they had me going actually. Like they made the audience a bit of a mark as well, because they acted very very concerned. Burnham acted very concerned about her. It's like, oh no, you don't have to do this. And I think after the third time, it was obvious they were the odds kept getting higher and higher. It was obvious what they were doing at that point. But like the
Yeah.
first two times that she got beat, I was
Yeah.
like, maybe you should hang this up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And she, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
she bled a little. So yeah, I
makeup
was
department did a
concerned
really
too.
good job. It was really subtle, because even after the fight, when she's talking to Tarka,
Mhm.
when Burnham and Book are at the table, she doesn't just have a cut. It's her skin is raised a little bit, because there's a welt as well. The makeup department did a really good
Mhm.
job with that subtle makeup. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it blended very well with her skin
Yeah.
tone. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wow.
oh
Oh.
wow.
Yeah.
That was such a good. Yeah. You could
Yeah.
tell they really had fun, I think,
Yeah.
filming that
Yeah.
scene and
I
that
haven't seen
interaction.
the Ready Room episode yet, but I assume they're gonna have that actress in the Ready Room, because
She was. not on this week. I watched it. It was Sonequa and
David Ajala. Okay, okay,
David.
yeah,
They yeah, they were the main focus. Yeah, but they did talk about sort of how this was a they repurposed this set from gosh, I want to say season one. But so it's a set from I guess the old bridge maybe. But yeah, like and the whole like the poker scene and all of that and how much fun they sort of
yeah,
had with it and the dynamic of um sort of realizing that they in their personal relationship have reached sort of a point of no return.
yeah. That
While
that
all of this
that's
sort
the
of
other thing that
heist is
was kind of hardcore during the. I mean, subtext of that whole game. Um, when he says, I think that she says, we could just end this, and then he says, well, we'll end this, and he puts his cards in. He's basically talking about the relationship, and that's yeah, that's cold. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I think like so valid, right? Because I don't fault either of them because they're
Hmm.
following through with what they believe and they both think they're doing it for the right reasons. I think at this point Burnham has a little
I
bit
mean,
more
by the end of the
information than
episode,
Book does
by the end of
because
the
and
episode
we sort
only,
of
but I think
yeah.
I
Hmm.
think before
Well,
that they have the exact same information. They just have a different point of view. But by the end of the episode, when go ahead.
well, no, because in the beginning, didn't they talk about that's when they realized that there was the boronite was
No, it
missing
was at the
from
end. It was
places
at the
where the
very end. It was
DMA
the very end. It was the last. It was the
that was
last
the
thing in the
end.
episode,
Okay.
and the and I think it was either Oded Fehr, the Admiral, or the President said, if this is just their mining equipment, what what is their weapons? What are their
Yes,
weapons
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
like? Uh,
I think it was yeah, and I think that's been their fair from the beginning, right? Like if this is we know nothing about this species, right? But here we have this very powerful thing. We don't know what
mm-hmm.
its purpose is, if this is
Right.
intentional or if this is accidental. But the level of this technology, right? If we go in
Yeah, there's no.
and piss them
Yeah, so
off,
he knew
they
that,
could just
but now it's concrete that they were just this highly
yeah,
destructive thing is just for mining, and also it's specifically mining something that they need for energy sources for their energy. So it's definitely going to piss them off. It's definitely going to piss them off. So yeah,
yeah,
we get that information
yeah,
at the end. So the president is like, yeah, we need to stop them by any means necessary. I really liked the I really liked President Rillick, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about her at the beginning of the season, but I appreciate the character that they have crafted, the actor who is actually playing the character, and also the writers, because that whole exchange at the beginning between her, Burnham, and the Admiral, it was just great. The way that she played it, she was like, I'm gonna ask you this once. Did either of you know? Because apparently, the uh, Tarka is the Admiral's guy,
yeah,
and then she's like, and they were like, no, and she's like, and my second question is, how could you not know? Yeah, she played that very, she played that very
right,
well.
right,
It's like, this is your boyfriend and this is your guy.
yeah,
How
yeah,
could you not know? Well, yeah, yeah,
not, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that I like that exchange too, because I mean, she didn't even dwell on it, right? She's like, you get one shot to sort of, if you suspect it, you can lay it out, and we got it, we got
Mm-hmm.
crap to deal with. We're just gonna move on. And I think I got the sense that the admiral is starting to realize, because as he and Michael are talking about um, why, like, or Tarker's motivations. Um, I think realizing that it's not just
Yeah, yeah.
about ego for him. and you learn, or Owo also gets that sense in
Yeah.
the conversation she has with him while they're in the casino, right? And I think that's also like painting a clearer picture for them of his
Yeah,
motivation, that they
he's
know
grieving
what
and he's trying
like
to
book
avoid
what's
another
driving book.
equation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but Taka is still
Yeah.
a little bit of an unknown,
Yeah,
because
at this point,
he's
the
played
audience is
things really
ahead
close.
of Starfleet on his
His chat.
motivations
Yeah.
because he divulges his motivations to Book. I think in the last episode when they were taking the vote, he tells Book why he wants to do what he wants to do. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And O seemed to get under his skin a
yeah.
little bit in this as
I mean,
well. Um,
I feel
yeah.
like even though the audience knows why he's doing this, she makes a good point. I mean, a lot of people have lost people. It's it
Yeah.
reminds me of I'm not sure if you remember the scene in Guardians of Galaxy when Rocket is yelling at Drax and because Drax is going off on like a rampage and puts everyone at risk because he lost
Mhm.
his daughter and his wife, and he said everyone's got dead people. Like this is ridiculous. What are you doing? So like we've all got dead
Yeah.
people. Come on, yeah. So like
Yeah. But I think it's sort of, I guess, looking at how, the different
yeah,
ways people grieve, right? And sometimes in your grief, you can really
hmm
screw things up, damage relationships, or you can,
yeah,
try to do better, and work through it. And so, and Tarka is really, um, not working through it, right? His desire is superseding what everybody, or what a
yeah.
lot of
There.
people
It's. I
want.
mean, I
Um,
understand. I sort of understand where Book is coming from, but Tarka's need seems far more selfish. Like he
mhm,
he hopes to be reunited with someone who he loves, and I think the implication there is that he might be gay,
mhm.
which is whatever, but like he doesn't even know if the person that he's chasing is even in the other universe, and he's risking this universe, this
Exactly.
galaxy. It's like he's basically going to leave
Yeah.
set a
Yeah.
match on this universe while he books off to another universe. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what baffles me, is like, how does Book not see that this, like, he does not care about this universe? Like, one way or another. I mean, he's either going to get to the universe he wants to get to, and destroy. Well, I feel like either way,
hmm
this universe is destroyed in the process. But if it's destroyed, then, and with him still in it,
Yeah.
like, if he doesn't
Because
make
he
it, then he
wants
doesn't care, because
because
he's
he's not with the
still
person he wants to be
not with the
with. Yeah,
person
which is yeah,
he loves.
he's not rational, but I think that
Yeah.
Book is
So.
incapable of seeing that he's not rational because we have a better beat on the fact that Book isn't rational either because he's like seeing his father. Like I thought he there's like
Mhm.
hints that he is starting to get better, but they actually are trying to deal with his grief in a more realistic way where it can't be over in like an episode or even a couple episodes.
Yeah.
He's going through peaks and valleys, and like 2 episodes back,
Yeah.
he was seeing his father, and his father was like berating him for like being led around by a woman, and he's like, and this is in the back of his head as well. So like, which is probably into his decision making.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. I think this season is so far is a lot stronger than last season. Just for the storytelling aspects. I mean, it's not like I didn't like the last season,
Oh
but
yeah.
the character beats that they're doing here are more sophisticated than last season. So yeah. Did we miss anything?
Yeah.
Any other
Um,
notes? Uh,
I don't think so. Was there anything you wanted to?
so we talked about the changeling. We talked about the
Okay.
them them yeah, it did turn
It
into a
also
triple.
turned into a tribble. Like that whole little
Yeah.
chase was, which I just thought just really, I want to say cute, but it was just like, oh, look at all these
It
characters
turned
that you
into
haven't seen in a
a
minute.
tribble. It turned into
But yeah.
a Zendi insectoid, which we haven't seen since Star Trek Enterprise, and then then at the
Mm-hmm.
end it turned into when Tarka trapped it into a changeling, female changeling. So yeah, it was yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and this is the first time we've seen like you said, a changeling since the last episode of DS9. I mean, if people are watching
Yeah.
Prodigy, we saw a hologram of Odo in a couple episodes, like an episode called Kobayashi Maru in 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 Prodigy. But besides that, this is the first time we've seen a changeling in the new era. And that again, I guess that, and also that doesn't really count because it was a hologram of him. So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is a good episode. I really liked it. I don't I don't think really. I think we talked about everything. I mean, except for the exchange that, as I mentioned in the spoiler free section, there's an exchange, a very short exchange between Stamets and Culber, because Culber is starting to like unravel
Mm-hmm.
because he was Book's therapist, right? And this is sort of what he was talking about
Yeah.
with Kovic in the previous episode, that he thinks he's failing everyone, and then Book goes off and puts everyone in at risk. So he's kicking himself for not seeing that he was so unstable, which is making him unravel, and he's cleaning everything. So that was an interesting little scene. It's funny that it's
And it sucks because I think he's just being hard on himself because I don't think anybody anticipated
yeah,
Tarka. Like he's the unknown there, right? Like Book, I think without that influence would not have done
yeah.
what he did,
Yeah,
right? And
he's definitely
so,
being hard on himself. He's not actually
that,
thinking rationally. I mean, like I mean, it's that whole scene was Stamets kind of like talking him down and trying to give him perspective, because, like you said, he can't fix
yeah,
the anyone's problems. He can just help them find solutions through his guidance, right? So like, yeah. And I guess the dots do clean people's rooms as well, because he kicked that dot and the dot it was like I just let you do what you're going to do. When they left, it was like he just started going back to cleaning. It's like, it was, yeah,
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 silly human. I was like, when I first saw him cleaning, I was like, wait, spray bottles made it all the way to the future? Because um, even on, it was a DS9 where they like, it was sonic showers, and you have to imagine like liquid recycling is probably really just hard to do, I guess,
yeah,
no matter where you are, right? In space. But I was just like, he's like with his spray, but it was slightly comical, but also like distressing because I don't
unravel
think
like
we'd
that.
ever
Yeah,
seen
yeah, that, yeah,
Culber
yeah,
that frustrated, right? Taking it out on the so curious to see like where they go down to the holodeck, which also makes me realize we haven't had an episode like on the holodeck really in this
it's hard
series
to do
yet.
those kind of episodes where they're trapped in the holodeck when they have an overarching through line or plot. I think we might see
Oh yeah.
something like that in Strange New Worlds, because it's more episodic,
Hmm.
or they're talking about doing a Starfleet Academy show with Tilly. That's why Tilly went away. So we might see some holodeck episodes on that show when they
Hmm.
finish doing development and start shooting that show. But this is the first time I've actually heard of the fact that they installed a holodeck after they did the refit. Because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we
I don't know.
we,
A
we
holodeck exists.
saw that they obviously have holodeck or holographic capabilities, that are more advanced than what they left in the when they left the
Mhm.
past, because we saw Burnham using it to create a force in her quarters, and I don't know if that's like captain's privilege because she's a captain and she has some holographic stuff inside of her quarters because they had to leave their quarters to do that. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
let's see.
pretty cool. And also, they seem to be working on the spore drive because they stole that second generation
Yeah,
spore drive and installed it in Book's ship. So curious to
yeah.
see. Well, they took the prototype, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see more of that
Yeah,
in future
I think the only other
episodes.
two things that was interesting to highlight, like you said, the conversation that Oded Fehr, I keep saying it, Oded Fehr, Admiral Vance has with Burnham, specifically about his family. He's feeling very
Mm,
he's feeling very guilty, similar to the way that I guess Culber's feeling guilty for not seeing this, and he's very
mhm,
afraid that he's going to lose his family. He just got them back, so that I thought that was an interesting little uh, note or beat that they added to the episode. And also, before the mission starts, we have a little bit of reconciliation between Stamets and Zora. So he's feeling a little
mhm.
guilty about the way that he acted in the previous episode, uh, and they seem to be working well together. And she even says, I can just do this by myself. It's going to be a very tedious task for you. So I thought that was a very interesting little beat that they added as well. She's actually stepping up as the specialist, because they gave her a rank
Mm,
on the ship on
gotcha.
the ship. So
Yeah.
yeah. Any last words, thoughts for next week? I didn't really see I didn't see the preview for
Uh,
the.
did you? So
Have
you
you?
haven't seen the trailer for next week? Yeah. So at the end of the ready room, it's not a trailer, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, but like a little scene. But the
Oh,
Barzan
she's coming back. Oh,
officer
cool, cool, cool,
comes
cool.
back.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And they of course so we didn't say like Burnham put a
Oh
tracker
yeah, yeah. So
on
she
the
loses. So that the couple things. So like
the
they play a card game against some Orion, not sorry, Emerald Chain people who are trying to be like the next Osira, and
mhm.
they first like cheat and signal each other so to get those two people out. Oh yeah, there was one thing that I was thinking about. He said if you act like an Amish, I'll put you in the water with like lead boots or whatever. So that woman who he said who was acting up and he teleported off. I mean, based upon what he said, did he drop her in the middle of the ocean? So like like
Possibly
yeah, that was actually
possible.
a cool little. He was also that guy was just interesting. Like it's he kept saying these sayings that made no sense. I guess, but I guess that he was like referencing a bunch of things, and it was hard. I actually looked up the some of the things, like specifically the one where he's saying that if you act like an I'm pronouncing the word wrong. Arkish. You know the skin of evil, the one where Tasha Yar dies. Yes. So the name of
Yes.
that
Hmm.
creature is Argish or whatever. So he's basically saying if you act like that thing, you're gonna if you act like a prick like that guy, you're going to I'm gonna eject you. But I haven't had the chance to look up all the things that he said. So some of them were like
Oh,
new
so
nonsense things that he was referencing that I guess are now part of Star
mhm.
Trek canon. But I think some of that stuff was like he was referencing things, and you would have to go back and look at like all the things that he's referencing. So he was an interesting character. Um, Played by Daniel
Was yeah.
Cash. I'm not sure what he's been in before. I have to look that up as well. So yeah, so they cheat to get those people out, and then as I mentioned, as we were talking about earlier, he says, "Let's end this," and he wins. But like, I assumed that she contaminated it when she was in there, but no, she put a tracking. She put a tracking thing on it because she was talking about the purity and something like that, and when they cut back to it,
Yeah.
I thought she contaminated it in some way, but no, she used some programmable matter to put a tracking beacon in it. So yeah, I guess we will see. You said that the Barzan officer is going to come back, and now her name is escaping me. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure why would they need her. I mean, she's definitely she's a tactical officer. So after maybe they're
Yeah.
trying to plan an assault in a way that's not going to let.
But I feel, yeah, I feel like she's the sort who would want to come back once she, is aware of the situation,
Mm-hmm,
right? To come back to Starfleet
mm-hmm,
and help. Um, because her planet and civilization, they have
mm-hmm.
advanced technologically. So I don't know how much there would be for her to do really after she had, because she's been with them for what, I guess, a little over a year now or
Little
more,
over a year, yeah.
and so maybe she's,
And if you remember,
yeah, I could see her
yeah,
just wanting
and
to
if
come
you
back to
remember her
action.
backstory, she mentioned that they weren't as technologically advanced as some of the other Federation worlds or something like that. I think she was saying that when she left. That's part of the reason she joined Starfleet.
When she,
So the fact that her people were entrusted with that seed vaults was definitely a leaps and bounds from where she left them in the past. So yeah, I don't know. I hope they re-add her to the crew. I know they have a lot of people in the crew, but like I think we're probably going to get people shed off of the crew and going to the Starfleet Academy show. So I don't know. Do they have a tactical officer? I don't know really. I guess no. Bryce's communications. I think Reese is tactical. Yeah, I think Reese is tactical. But I don't know if he's tactical for the entire ship. Or at least he's the weapons officer. Yeah, I forget.
and with Tilly, with Tilly gone,
I think
a
Tilly's
space
spot is
open, right?
really going to be filled by Gray when Gray comes back. So yeah. So, but yeah. Sorry,
You
Adira.
mean Adira?
Yes, Adira. Because Gray is gonna stay
Okay,
gone
great.
when Adira comes back.
Yes,
I don't did
yes.
I guess we don't know whether or not Adira is going to show up in the next episode or not. Or because when Culber and Stamets were talking, did they mention Adira or did they mention Gray? I feel like they mentioned Gray,
They only talked about
which
Gray.
is probably
Yeah.
why that was in my head. It was
And
like Adira is really their kid, right? Why would they
yeah,
mention Gray? So
I think they think of both of them as their kids, but I think because Gray is the one who's going to stay gone, and Adira will come back to them, right? So there's, I guess, more anxiety about that situation, and Adira is going to come back, so um they won't
maybe
have to be as
it was just
concerned.
weird. They
Um,
only mentioned one of their
yeah,
kids. The two of the kids were both of their kids were gone. Anyway, it was
one's on
going away
vacation
for
and one's
college or
like
whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
forging a new path.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
going
enough.
away for college. Yeah, so
So yeah, I think Adara takes up a Tilly spot. So yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, we will see. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I really want to see that actress come back as a full time member. They still need to figure out what they're going to do with Saru by the end of the season
Mm-hmm.
because he can't stay on as Mr. Saru past this emergency. I haven't seen
Mm-hmm.
anything in the press about a separate show besides the Academy show, and I know that Tilly's probably going to be in it, and also Oded Fehr is going to be in it. But Oded Fehr, as the head of Starfleet, can be really in both shows. He doesn't have to be in one show, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
they'll have Saru also teach at Starfleet Academy. So I don't know. Huh?
Dean of Starfleet Academy, Chancellor,
Maybe
Chancellor of
Dean,
Starfleet
maybe the Dean,
Academy.
because
Yeah.
they're not going to give Tilly the job of like the chancellor or the dean of the school, but they might give it to Saru. So yeah, yeah. All right, so if there's nothing else, that is what we think. But we are interested to hear what you guys think. So please comment down below to join the conversation, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.